Welcome to my week 5 summary. The first thing I did this week was I spent 2 days finishing up my controversial debate topic, which was about hydraulic fracturing. And here you see on the screen right here, there's some fire here. That's one of the possible causes of hydraulic fracturing. Hydraulic fracturing is a technique where oil drillers are enabled to extend the life of their well by with huge amounts of water. They put pressure in the well and crack the rocks, letting gas escape. The problem is when all that gas escapes, sometimes it escapes into nearby homes and into the water supply. And this explosion here took place because there was natural gas in the water supply. So this man lit a lighter and his water exploded. So it's a very interesting topic, and I look forward to finishing that up and seeing what all of you think about it next week. The next thing I worked on the VPython program, and I'm going to bring that up right now. Let's see right here. Here's the program. I just wanted to show I had fun making the cart and using the equation force over mass for the acceleration. It was really interesting to learn about that and how force plays into acceleration. And then using that to make the cart move. And here you can see I changed the direction of the arrow. I was able to, using the left arrow key, change the direction of the force. So as it started, it was going this way, and then I hit it about here, and it slowed down and started to head this way. So that was very interesting. In the spiral kinematics activities this week, I have that. Find that. There we go. Okay. Responds a little bit differently when I'm recording, but that's okay. Most of these were fairly similar to last week. Doing the motion diagram showing acceleration. The problems were a little bit more complex this week, having several steps. This had 3 different events occurring. So first we started at rest, and then there was acceleration actually going in the negative direction. And then once it hit another point, it started to accelerate again in the positive direction. So again, given some of the information, we had to find the other points. So I was able to use this equation here where I had to have 2 variables, but I was able to set it equal to T2 and then use this value for T2 in the other equation. And through that substitution, I was able to come up with the actual values for T2 and also for the acceleration. The next thing I worked on after finishing spiral kinematics activities was the NEAT resource on relativity. I found this most interesting. There were a lot of interesting videos on what relativity is all about and about how it tied in with last week and how we worked on how the motion is different from an observer if something is moving and another thing is moving from that vantage point. This, I thought, explained it quite well here, where if the car is just moving, it's just sitting still, that is, it's moving through time, and it experiences time linearly. But once you start moving at any speed, time slows down for you. And they were able to prove that by putting clocks on airplanes. Back in 1971, actually, they put clocks on planes, and the clocks were a little bit different. The readings at the end of the flights were different from a standard clock that was stationary. So they know that this theory holds true. So that was really interesting, that if you're in this car in space, then you're going to experience time slower than someone observing from the Earth. Then I finished up the week with the Engage Me or Enrage Me. I wrote this response about what I thought about it. I found it very interesting, and I thought it tied in with the boys and gaming talk from last week, that students today just have so many different gadgets, and there's so many technological advances that make activities so much easier that it's hard for them to focus in school when everything is paper and pencil. So I'm looking forward to seeing more responses to that and people's ideas on what we can do about that. This topic is very important in my life because I am a teacher, so I am always looking for ways to engage students and to reach all kinds of different students. Sometimes there's those students that even with video games, they aren't good at those, and that doesn't reach them either. So I'm looking for good creative ways to engage students. And that was my week. Thank you for listening.